Have you been wondering what Webflow is and how to work with it as a designer? Well, today we're going to explore just that, where I will be recreating a Figma design in Webflow. Let's go. Hello world, I am Ivana and I am a front-end web developer who is pivoting to graphic and web design. In this video, I wanted to show you how I redesigned one page in Figma, and now I want to transfer it to Webflow to learn a little bit of its UI and what is possible with it. I've seen so many good sites made in Webflow and I am excited to see what I can do with it. Alright, so today is a very snowy Saturday in here, so what better way to spend our time than to build a web page, right? Anyway, what is Webflow? So Webflow is a site builder, no code site builder, but it's a bit different than like WordPress, for example. What I have seen is that WordPress, it has, so the Elementor builder in WordPress, for example, it has particular containers and stuff that you can use, like they've created them for you, while in Webflow you can create your own containers with their own properties by using CSS properties in the actual designer of Webflow. This is what I like about it, because I like to write my own CSS custom, but it just, it takes so much more time when you do it yourself. But when it's in an actual like visual editor, it's much easier. Right? So this is why I want to try out Webflow to see how much faster I can recreate like a page or something. Another thing in Webflow is that it has JavaScript animations and triggers, which they are much easier to use as well. With them, we will create some animations on this web page, and I'm excited to see how quick and easy that is, and most of all, painless. Right. Here we can see the Webflow starting page, and you can create an account and it's free, but there are limitations to the free plan, of course, as with any other platform. You can create up to 2 sites. You have 2 sites, but each site can have maybe 2 or 3 pages tops. Like, it's not a big site. It's only if you want like 1 page or something, that's when you can use the free plan. And if you want to host the website, it will be on their hosting, and the domain will be .webflow.io. If you want a custom domain to connect your site to a custom domain, you'll need to update your plan, sadly. We are doing the free plan because I'm not going to publish this website anyway. So now first, let me show you the page that we will be redesigning. This is the page that I will be redesigning. This company is called Raven, and they have only 1 page website. It doesn't have a lot of content on it, which is good for me. And it has a navigation which is just scrolling down to its section, except this one, Get in Touch, scrolls down to the form. And that's it. It's nothing bad, obviously. It's a very small page, very small, very little content. How I've redesigned it. Now in Figma, the redesign looks something like this. Obviously the logo is remaining in the top left corner, navigation, but Get in Touch is the only difference, and it will be a button. I decided to have it as a button because to get more attention, obviously. I made the main heading here bigger and the subheading as well bigger. And in my head, at least, I think this is possible. I will have this feather, it's an SVG, so I will upload it to the website. It will have some animation to this feather. And then our networks and partners, these logos will be moving to the left. They will be scrolling or something. This is my idea, at least. And then here we have the first section, who we are, with these coins that will be also moving in some way, I feel like. And then what we do, the next section, with these diamonds or whatever also moving. So for startups as well, this section, and basically I've recreated what they had on their page here. This is the only text is only taken from their page. I haven't added anything from myself. Get in touch form and submit button in the same style, some social medias or whatever they had. Okay, I've only added privacy policy and cookie policy buttons down here because I know they're necessary, so I decided to plan for them anyway. And that's it. And I will add some animations later when I've built this. But first I want to put all of this on the page in Webflow, see how it looks, and then we start on the finishing touches, aka animations and stuff. Alright, so this is how the Webflow designer looks empty. I haven't added anything, I've just created a new project and I've opened it. Add the layout, what does it do? Great, so they seem to have some ready components that you can insert. Let's try and insert one and see what happens. Navbar, no shadow. And it just inserts it like that. You have navigation links, you have a logo and a primary button. However, how big is this container now? See how it's constrained to this width, even on my big screen. This container is 1140 pixels, which I don't want. I want it to be bigger. Actually, okay, let's start from the beginning. I will delete this. Actually, let's try the left panel here. Add elements. We have structure elements, section, container, vflex and hflex. Okay, this is nice. Basic, div block, list item, link block and button. Typography, heading, paragraph, text link, text block, block quote. That's actually pretty nice. Images, video, forms, label input, grid and columns. Right. Alright, great. Next button shows the pages that you have here. As you can see, we already have a home page, password, whatever that is. Alright, password protected page apparently, and 404 page, which yeah, doesn't have anything. Okay, that's fine. We go back to home, and here you have your sort of layers, right? In like all of the Adobe programs or Figma, you have layers. In this case, we can see that the body, this is like your documents body. This is everything that you will put on the page has to exist in a body tag. We have a navbar, and inside of it, it has a container, the container that I established that it's too small for me. Inside there is another container, wrapper, the brand, the logo is in here, and this chain, small chain here, if you can see it, should be a link. Image, the menu is a list item you can see here, and button. Alright, but I do not want this navbar, I want to create my own navbar. Okay, we have the body. Let's see what styles we can put on the body now. Style. As I said, the good thing about Webflow is that you can put your own CSS styles through the right side panel here. If you can see, yes, this right side panel. Let me highlight my cursor. This right hand panel here. We have body styles. We haven't put anything here yet, that's why it's empty. Style selector. Select a class or tag. You can create your own classes. This is a very common practice with CSS, creating a class for multiple components that you can style in the same style. Now, the layout. The display has block, flex, grid. The body cannot be inline block, okay, but we do have inline block. We do have inline and we have none. With display none, this means that whatever you've put the style on it is not visible on the page. Spacing, we have margins and paddings. Look how nice this is. Padding and margin. The padding is the spacing inside the box between the box's border and its inside contents. And the margin is the spacing around the box, as in from the box out, how much spacing there should be to the next element. We have sizes with width, min and max width, height, min and max height. That's nice. I don't know what this ratio does yet. Overflow, fit, these I will use them only in certain cases. The position is interesting. If you want to have like a fixed navigation bar, for example, the position should be fixed. And the typography, of course, we have typeface. Let's try it. Let's change it from Arial to Montserrat. The weight should be normal, 400 to all of the. These are default styles. The body styles that I put now, they trickle down to all of its elements. So now if I create sections inside the body, they will have the same styles as the body because they inherit the body's styles. For example, the size of the font, the base font, I don't want it to be 14 pixels. I want it to be 16 pixels. Height, I don't think this is something that I want. Color 333 is not going to be this because we are on a dark theme and we want white color instead as the default one. So FFF, and it will be left aligned, of course, by default. We do have center aligned texts that we will additionally change. Oh no, okay, this is not changing. Maybe I should, okay, it changed. Maybe I should change the body's background color, and we're going actually to the background color, which is nice. You can add an image or gradient. The color of the body will be, my color that I chose was 17, 16, 16. Nice, okay. And now we have a dark theme or a dark background, and we will have white text. The white text you could see here, yes, because I put now the dark background, it tells me here that there will be good contrast. Ooh, nice. Contrast ratio, and anything more? No. AAA, this should be good, right? Okay, we have border radius. If we have borders anywhere, we can add border with style solid or dotted line, dashed or dotted, width 1-2 pixels or whatever color. Yeah, so far we don't have borders, so I'm not going to change this. Now effects, blending, opacity, outline, box shadows. Okay, these are not body specific styles, so I'm not going to change any of them yet. I will create specific classes for specific elements that have these borders and stuff, or box shadows or whatever. Okay, well, this looks really, really nice. I've taken a look at Webflow back in the day, like 2019, 2020 or something, but since then I haven't really seen any updates or anything that they've done, so there doesn't seem to be that many new things. Maybe there are, I don't know, but from what I can see, it looks sort of the same as I remember, and it's very, to me it looks intuitive, if I can say that, because I am familiar with these CSS properties and all of these things. So now that we know somewhat all of our way around the interface over here, I believe we can start putting in some sections like our header and navigation bar, for example. Oh yeah, from here you can see that you can reduce the width of your viewport and then change your visual if it's on desktop, laptop or tablet or mobile. This is 320 pixels. This is landscape, tablet, and I guess this is as far as my monitor can show here, right? I'm going to work on this first, or like big screen first, because I have the design like this. But I am thinking in my head sort of like how it will look on mobile, for example, because we need to do responsive always, right? So we have the body. Inside the body, now we can start putting in sections, like headers, hero section, and then the next sections, and the navigation bar, and all of this. Let's start by adding a container element and see what happens. This container element that comes from Webflow, you can see here it has a max width of 940 pixels, which for me is really small again. And I will change this to the grid that I have in my design. I have this basic layout that has from left to right 1480 pixels. So this container here will have a max width of 1480, and also it will have padding. It will have a padding of 20 pixels on the left and the right. This means that its maximum width will be with 40 pixels more, 1520. And why do I do these 20 pixels padding? I do them because inside of the container, the content, when the desktop, for example, or like when the screen is reduced, this section, as you can see, this section, it has like 20 pixels left and right. So when the size of the viewport is reduced, as in from the left and right, you can see the container is in the middle, so only the left and the right sizes are reduced. But when we get to 1520 pixels, the viewport will not get close to the container, as in there will be 20 pixels, fixed 20 pixels, that like some spacing between the viewport and the content inside of the container. And then the container starts reducing, blah, blah, blah. This is what max width does. It fixes the biggest width to the one that we set, and it doesn't grow anymore. But it does shrink with the shrinking of the viewport. This is what I wanted. This section here is actually going to be, I think there were sections tag. So these tags are HTML tags. In HTML5, the current HTML version, there are semantic tags. Semantic tags help with like SEO and stuff like this. And so right now in this container, we will be doing a header. In the header, we have navigation. So for this section, or like the Webflow element section, we will give it a tag header, so that we can tell if a crawler is indexing our page that this section here is our header. So it knows that in the header there will be navigation and stuff like this. So we put this header here, and inside the header we now have to put another section, I suppose. We will put a link block, because I think this is what... Let's actually pull up that navigation that I got before. Let's sort of figure out how this was done for the sake of getting this video out faster. Okay, and in this section, I will have another div or hflex. Let's see what it is. Hflex. Use hflex to align content horizontally within the layout. I think this will be fine. Let's do hflex flex block, inside of which I want to put a link block. And in this link block, it will not open a new tab. It will be the home page, and it will have an image, the logo here, but How do I do that? Page preload. I probably need to put an image inside of here. Yep. Image settings and choose image. I need to upload. Right, now we've put the image. The image is now inside of the link block, which is inside of a flex block, which is going to be our, like, all of the navigation parts. So this link block, actually this section, in the section we will put padding on top and bottom so that we can get the nav unstuck from the top of the page. I've put in my design 24 pixels. Right, now in web, however, we do not use pixels, we use rem. And so 24 pixels, because our base font size is 16, 24 divided by, we have to divide 24 by 16, which is 1.5. So here we have pixels rem in, yeah, so we have rem and we will put 1.5, and on the bottom we do the same thing, 1.5. Right. Now on the image I want to put something. I want to put minimum height, and minimum height is like 40 pixels. And now to make the navigation, I see that this nav bar here uses nav links inside of, is there a wrapper here? Right, so the nav menu wrapper, and then they have nav menu, the list, and then the button. Okay, so we need a div here in this flex block. All right, inside the flex block, we will put another div, and then, why is this closing? And then on the flex block, it already has display flex. And then we need to align the items so that they are centered with each other. This is the same as in Figma, when they, with these properties up here, you can align items centered, or the top or the bottom or something like this. And so in the align here, we put center. And see how the Raven logo became in the middle of the container, and now it's centered with the center of the div block. Inside of the div block, we will put a list, which we will give in the layout display flex again, so that we can line the items horizontally. And we didn't do flex block again because of, again, when like a crawler or something is getting through your website, it needs to see that there is a list there so that it distinguishes what items is it, I don't know, like crawling or something. And for navigation, it is generally considered good practice that the nav items will be created as list items. And so here we've added a list, which we will give display flex, and they became one next to each other horizontally. To them, I don't think we need to put a line to be aligned in the center, but I will do that just in case. And I will remove the bullets because we don't need them. Right, so now inside of the list, I need items, list items. So this list item, okay, it has them. But in the list item, I need to have a link block. Yes, okay, the first list item, link block. And our links will be scrolling down the page. URL, and here I think we can link them to sections down the page, but since we don't have the sections yet, I will do this later. How do we put what's inside? Page? No, it doesn't link to a page. Into a page section, yes. And here we choose a page section, but we don't have any sections yet, so we cannot link to them yet.
A few moments later.
All right, I was wondering how to put text in here, but I think it might be easier if instead of the list item, I add a text link. I think this should be it. In the same sense, here we can link it to a section down on the page that we haven't created yet, but we will eventually. And this text link, we will give it now styles. We will give it a class name as well. So nav link. That nav link. Okay, so nav link in our case will have a color of white. Here we have, what did we have in the navigation? Home, about. This is not a link block anymore because this doesn't work apparently. We remove the link block, and inside the first list item we have text link again, which has the nav link class. Whoop. And now it looks like the other nav link. It will be called home. And the next list item also has a text link. And we will add the nav link class. All right. And it will be for startups, if I remember correctly. Yes. And now I want to create this get in touch button. First, however, inside this list, first of all, the nav link, I want to make it, it's not 14 pixels, I want to make it bigger. Let's do 18 pixels. See how all three of them changed? That's because they all have the class name navlink. Now I see navlink has some paddings and margins here. That's fine, but I need to put this list a little bit to the middle there, which okay, let's first add the button. The button should be button. Let's try it inside. Where do we need to add this? We need to add this in the flex block. We need to add a button element, and it adds it magically. Now the button element will also be scrolling down the page to the get in touch section. So we're not gonna give it anything. It will be called get in touch. Oops. And now we can style it. We will give it a class first. The class will be main primary button. Let's say primary button. Right, and now we can style it with this style. And I have for the text, I have bold 24. So for the typography, 24 pixels. Actually, I forgot that we're using RAM, right? 24 pixels. And here I've had, with auto layout, I've put some paddings around it. 45 on the sides and 15 top and bottom. So we come up here, we say padding 15 top and bottom, and 45 on the side. I will make them into rems or M's later. I hope I don't forget. And now we need to put the border radius. The border radius is border radii are 12 pixels. And it's done by here. See here, borders. individual corners, just like in Figma. It's so easy. So the top left will be 12 pixels and the bottom right will be 12 pixels. And voila, we have this button. We do not have a gradient inside of it yet. I don't know how to make it. Right, we want top to bottom, and we want the two colors to be this one from the logo. And the other one, the purple. Yeah. Awesome. Actually, let's see, what have I put for these? These are 24 pixels. Let's put the nav link to also at least 20. Yeah, okay. Now you can see that they're all like bunched together in this container, and I want them separate. Like get in touch button would go to the right, Raven logo will stay on the left, and the navigation will be in the middle. How do we do this? We come here to the flex block, and just like in auto layout, you can separate the elements to have equal spaces between them. The flex block, it has to be display flex, absolutely right. So the flex block, we have already given it align item center, and now we have justify here. In the justify, you have to give it space between, and whoop. And that's how it is. And now we separated them with equal spacing between these. Now the nav links, however, are not centered. I think they are all centered now. Let's see. Yes. I want to make the list items a bit more separated a bit more. And so on the nav link, because it has already some paddings here and margins, I will just make them a bit bigger, like 10, let's say, instead of 5. Yeah, now it has a bit more. We don't need this nav bar anymore. Right. No, that's it. All right, and this is our navigation. I am actually very pleased with this. All right. This was actually so fun for me to get to know how Webflow works and how to use it to recreate the Figma design. Let me know down in the comments below if you would like for me to make another video for like the whole page, how I make the whole page, so that you can see like how it looks, or like how I also want to see how long it takes me. So if you're interested in knowing that, let me know down below. Another idea that I've had for like videos is like, do you want guys to see like how to write your own CSS, and what does this all display flex mean in actual code, so that you can talk to developers, or you can maybe try out your hand in writing your own HTML and CSS. So let me know if there is interest for this, so that, you know, we can learn and we can develop websites ourselves, right? Or I could teach you also how to check ready websites on the web, how to check which styles they have, or like which fonts they've used, which colors they've used, how to check all of this, how to check structures of the sites and stuff like this. Let me know if there's interest for this, and I will make videos. I've already started writing out maybe some lessons, but I still want to know if there is interest for them. All right, please, if you liked this video, like it and subscribe to the channel, because there will be more Webflow and web design and graphic design videos in the works. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys, and bye. You like the snow? No. Oh, nej. What is your opinion on this, miss? Hmm? Okay. Ne!